Abandoned and illegally occupied buildings have come under the spotlight since the deadly fire at a building in Marshalltown, Johannesburg. As a result, the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Public Works is announcing steps to clear illegally occupied government buildings. MEC Sipho Nkosi is in Durban today on an oversight visit at abandoned sites. For more on this, we're joined by Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan. Karinda, very good morning to you. Tell us about the issue in KZN.
Certainly, good morning. Well, we know now that in Durban there are just over 80 abandoned buildings, 23 of them having been illegally occupied. We visited some of those and we're right now at a building owned by the Department of Public Works where the MEC has been briefing the media. So we'll speak to him. MEC, thank you for your time. Of course, there are also members from the eThekwini municipality. We were at the building just now where there were people living there, and they really pleaded to know, they wanted to know when would they be moved to a safer space. If you can tell us about time frames. And firstly, are they illegally occupying those buildings they believed that they want?
No, I am convinced that they are illegal to be there. But I don't want to pronounce because I did not engage them. I'm basing it on the information that I was given on the 23rd of May when I assumed this position. But we also are a caring government. We will have to brainstorm as to how to deal with the problem. No. At the moment, we don't have a position. But there is one thing that we would need to consider when we are taking a position. If they are there, not in the list, they are jumping the queue, then there would be a different position. But if these are the people that are in the list of people who are waiting for housing, and then we will also take a different position. This is what I can say about it. Also, we don't know even their nationalities, whether they are South Africans or not. If they are not South Africans, and it is quite clear, they don't qualify to get the government house. This is what it is all about. They better go to the private people and then rent accommodation there. So this is what we want to explain. But if these are South Africans, and then we'll have to see how to deal with that matter.
Going forward, there was supposed to be an announcement today with regards to government intervention. I believe that you're going to go back to the drawing board because of the information you found in your oversight. But what ideas do you have to actually resolve this crisis of buildings being abandoned in this way and then occupied?
Yeah, no, this is what we said we are going. There are two things that we discovered. We don't want to indicate what is it that is forcing us to go to the drawing board. But our plan will be very clear. If there's a government building, department that might want to occupy this government building, big as it is, and then we will engage with them so that we renovate it so that they come in. And then that's what we can do. And another option that we have is that if there are people who want to buy the buildings, and then we can even sell the buildings. And then if then there are people who would want to lease the building, we can do so as well. There are those options that we have and all that stuff. But the message is clear. To those who have illegally occupied the building, we want them to understand that illegality cannot be allowed in this country. We are not a banana republic. We have got laws that must all respect, but then if then we find out that they are not cooperative, and then we'll be able to activate the processes of eviction, nothing else.
Mr. Nkosi, thank you so much for your time. MEC, thank you very much. Members of the city as well there. If we just also want to show our viewers, please, the background here. So this is the one building that you are seeing. And as we just go inside, my colleague Lungelo, also some of the issues that we learnt about is the red tape that exists just in terms of the court challenges where there are private buildings concerned, and also in terms of the various tiers of government. So here there was supposed to be a major announcement as to what the department was going to do, but they came across the issue of the fact that people have been living in these buildings for a very long time, years now. So there's also issue of involving the city to ensure they can get alternate housing, because they ultimately have to provide shelter to those who are living there in terms of their rights. And then, of course, this means that these various tiers of government have to work together. So lots of red tape, lots of politics involved in this as well. But ultimately, it's the city's infrastructure you're looking at here and the dangers that could come with the infrastructure being in this condition. We've seen what has happened in Johannesburg. We hear there have been fires as well in similar buildings in Durban, and so really the pressure is on government to resolve this, what is now being looked upon as a crisis of infrastructure in cities.
Yeah, Karinda, Jagmohan, let's perhaps leave it there for now as we continue, of course, to get insight on illegally occupied government buildings and what's to happen, what is the way forward.